Okay. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm back with another business vlog entry, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some things I've read today. First off, I'm going to talk about Michael Jordan. Now, as you know, Michael Jordan used to be a former NBA player. And normally I don't talk about sports on this channel. I usually talk about it on my other channel on sports. But this is the business side of sports that I'm discussing. Now, as you know, former NBA player Michael Jordan has sold his stake of the Charlotte Hornets to one of some highest bidders. He gave away part ownership or sold part ownership of the team to some highest bidders for $3 billion. That's a lot of money. This comes at a time when Charlotte Hornets haven't really made the playoffs. Only made the playoffs on 2 different occasions under his ownership. That says a lot. Just maybe just because a successful NBA player doesn't always translate to success of owning a team. Maybe it translates into the success of becoming an NBA coach, but ownership of a team, that's not always the case, because Michael Jordan is probably working under a lot of executives, and they were influencing him to make a certain amount of decisions as to which coaches to hire and which players to draft in the NBA draft lottery. So that reveals a lot. That tells me he wasn't really leading, wasn't really the full leader of the team. I think he only owned part of the team. And I think that's what he's going to be regulated to, being part owner, not a full owner, as most people think. So that said, I'm going to move on to some other news, which I've read. And it has to do with Europe. Most European countries have showed a slow level of growth, or small level of growth, and slow business growth, that is. So, I mean, you look at most of Europe, that's not really surprising. They've been facing a really big recession for a number of years, and they've had problems for a number of years. And I don't think they've really fully recovered from this pandemic, because during the lockdown, most businesses in Europe have closed down, and most of the economy, Europe's economy, has often come to a screeching halt. And combining with the high level of inflation, most European businesses on the continent of Europe have not done very well, or not doing very, very good. And they have not fully recovered from the pandemic that has taken place and plagued them for about, I think, 2-3 years. In fact, 2 years, because that's, in fact, no, 3 years, because the lockdown began in 2020. And it's been 3 years since everything has gone back to normal. So that says a lot. And one of the biggest economies in Europe, Germany, their purchasing PMI has gone down from I don't know what that is, whatever it is, 50%, 0.5 or something, I don't know. But it has gone down to 0.5 from 0.3, 0.53. So that tells me Germany's not doing as well. And France has not done well either. Their economy has slowed down too. So Europe is not really prospering as people profess or as people claim, or as these economists have claimed. And with this inflation, I think their situation is only going to get worse before it ever gets better. And don't even get me started with Italy, because Italy's economy hasn't been doing well either. In fact, they've had to close a number of automotive plants due to maybe a lack of parts or maybe some supply chain issues. In fact, the whole world economy has suffered during the lockdown, and of course, the factories have to close their doors. In fact, especially in manufacturing, due to the lack of automotive manufacturing, due to the lack of parts they've been getting, and the supply chain issues that have been messy for some time. So I gotta say, it's not looking good for Europe. Maybe it'll get better as months go by, but that is unlikely. Very unlikely. Hello to you, Mr. Architect. And how are you doing? Hope things are very good on your neck of the woods and where you are. But yeah, Europe is facing economic slowdown right now, I would say. Isn't it amazing? They talk about Europe as if Europe is this wonder place, this wonder spot for people to go to, never mentioning anything about, say, Africa or even South America, but especially Africa. But the media has this idea that Africa is some sort of jungle with no economy or no economy or no fiscal stuff to build on. They talk about Europe as if it's a wonderland. When, as I said earlier, Europe's economy is not doing very well, as I said. And with Germany's economic growth has slowed. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're not manufacturing enough goods and services. Who knows? But yeah, that's all I have for that. Now I'm finally gonna talk about Burger King. Now, as you know, Burger King has been in the news, and I watched a video about the fast food chain and why they haven't been able to prosper. Now, Burger King they haven't been really been doing very much. And of course, I've never heard them often. They're even non-existent in the news, are non-existent in most people's awareness or customers' awareness. Because if you compare them to, say, places like McDonald's, or even, say, Wendy's, or even Subway, Burger King is like non-existent. I mean, they've had to close a number of their restaurants due to slow sales. And how could they even bring up their sales when they are in locations that are saturated, where the market is saturated with fast food joints? You got McDonald's, you got KFC, Wendy's, you got what else is there? Subway, as I said earlier, and you got all these other fast food joints like A&W, and should I say, what else is there? What other fast food places can I think of? Like Pizza Hut and all those places. I mean, Burger King, they're owned by the same company that owns Wendy's and Tim Hortons and Popeye's Louisiana chicken. I mean, I would think that Burger King would do better than, say, for instance, Wendy's or some sort, or Tim Hortons. But that's not the case at all. Like Burger King is practically non-existent. Now they're talking about a turnaround for the restaurant. Hopefully this turnaround pays off because they're spending $400 million in basically marketing their brand and renovating most of their existing restaurants that haven't done very good. So in fact, most fast food places, I would say, they haven't been able to outdo places like, say, for instance, McDonald's. Now, McDonald's has had the right idea. And I don't know why most fast food joints, businesses, they haven't followed McDonald's model. Because oftentimes they have to, when they run into, like, say, a place and the lease runs out, the franchisees, they have to get all the equipment and move out of that place. But whereas someone who runs a McDonald's restaurant, they have something in their clause where they not only choose a building, build the building to build the restaurants, they often choose a lot of land to buy so they can basically stay in that place, particular place, and keep renovating their restaurants as the years go by. So you see, the owners got very smart that own McDonald's. They not only set up a restaurant, they also bought the land. So in other words, McDonald's, they're not just a restaurant, they're also a commercial real estate company. So, but that calls for another video in itself. But all I know is that Burger King will have to really find a way to market their restaurants. Otherwise, they're going to have to close more of their restaurants and fold their company altogether. And that's all I have for this live stream. Take care, and I'll be back in the future.